Being part of Roundtop's 50th anniversary is very fulfilling because I've seen the hard work that has gone into creating this company and making it successful. When I think of Irv and his vision starting in 1964 and seeing what's been accomplished today and the culture that's being created within this company of recognizing the employees and their contribution to the company has been outstanding.
Well, I like the sport, and there had to be something closer than driving into New England. And I had had some work done for me by an architect and a land designer by the name of Gordon Brown. And he told me about Roundtop Mountain, said it was the highest point in the area. And he was certainly right. It was the highest to Baltimore, certainly the highest to the roads that could conveniently get the guests here. And I give Gordon a lot of credit in having suggested Roundtop. The first thing to do was to get together some people who would be willing to put money in it. The money was the first shortage. I had a little. I had 10 or 20,000 that I could put in it, but that was hardly a good start. So I talked to a series of people about first coming on our board and secondly putting money in the organization.
Well, Irv put it together. He decided the best way to do it was to sell stock. So I got in early. We sold stock to everybody, but we thought they were all enjoying investing in a company that they could enjoy as a fun project instead of just an investment.
I was associated with a bank, and I guess that's why I got called upon to make the loan collateralized by a number of laced-up boots, which would have zero value today if I ever had to collect on my collateral.
And Irv thought it would enhance our sales if he got a well-known ski area developer to come down and look at the mountain. And Irv couldn't make it that day, so he asked me to show him the mountain. We parked up here on the road. It was as close as you could get. Hiked up to the top of the mountain and hiked and showed him where we would plan to have this. And when we got down to the bottom of the mountain, he looked at me and gave me his opinion. Find another mountain. It's too rocky.
When we, of course, broke ground, it was all mud and stone, and we did wonder whether or not we had picked a glacial rock formation to build the ski area, because there was a lot of rock to deal with. Those original days and those first years, it was a learning experience, and that's why this, I think, is symbolic. But this was our first bumper sticker, and as my good friend Horace Kesey would remind me, the colonial skier was placing his weight on the wrong ski as he came down the hill. But my mother, who was the designer of that logo, of course, never skied in her life.
I don't think we opened until the 10th of December. So we started with a short season. We didn't have any good management.
And I can also remember that our first manager was so bad he did us a favor because he got us on Skyer.
I went to visit the area, which was under construction at that time, and I said, "Ooh, it's a small hill." But then I said to myself, skiing is left turn, right turn. So small or big, it doesn't matter. You just have to ride more often up the hill.
Hans was the ski school director that first year, but it was quite obvious to me and the rest of our board that Hans's ability far exceeded the abilities that he needed to be a ski school director. So we asked Hans to be the general manager, and he was for the next 7 years.
We, as a board, asked who's going to be our office manager, and my wife Ellie had an excellent reputation for honesty and hard work, and plus being a very smart lady. We made her the manager, and then the money would go out in a paper bag, and often we'd have other directors take a paper bag out from another door and then give it to her, and then she would go down to the branch bank on 74 and deposit the money. And that first season, it amounted to the astounding amount of money of $85,000, which is not such a good one day for us now in the industry.
When I met Irv Naylor, the president and originator of Ski Roundtop, we had a meeting and lunch at one of the restaurants in York, Pennsylvania, and he ordered a ginger ale. Oh, I thought, oh, that guy doesn't drink alcohol. That's just my kind of guy. Well, later on I found out he had a hangover, and so he had to take it easy.
Irv is what I would call the definition of an entrepreneur. He has really created and developed many businesses in so many different industries. And what amazed me about Irv is his ability to know what he wants and find a way to get it done.
Irv has been a friend to Ski Patrol. Irv is recognized as a friend to the ski industry, and we appreciate everything that he has done, what Eric has done, what Roundtop has done, and Snowtime to help the outdoor sports industry grow and be safe.
These guys that were on the board, Irv, Fred, Horace, back then Bob Kinsley, Jack Barnhart, they were all very firm in their beliefs and what they thought was appropriate and right for the areas. And we would be in board meetings that would go on for hours and hours, and these guys would just speak their mind and pour out their passions about what they thought we could do.
If you look at the tenure of the employees here at Roundtop, there are a lot that have been here for decades, also at Whitetail and at Liberty. The culture here has been very good in recognizing their contribution to the company, and it's a fun place to be. And you see the smiles on the faces of the guests, and you just see families having fun together. It's very rewarding to be part of a company that appreciates its guests and its employees, and yet meets its objective of being a successful company.
Joe Geyer was our first person in the office, along with Fred Rosenmiller's wife, Ellie. So Ellie and Joe kind of ran the office. And Joe was in the office one day talking to me on the phone. And I said, well, is Hans nearby? I need to talk to him about something for just a moment. She said, yeah, he's out here somewhere.
I was moving some rocks around the pond, you know, and suddenly the tractor lurched forward and dived into the pond.
Hold on a minute. She said, oh my God, there he is. He's right there by the pond. Oh my God, he's in the pond. He just went in the pond. Hold on, I'll see if he's drowned because he can't swim.
And luckily I was able to jump off or jump to the side. So the tractor was standing vertical in the pond with the plate holding him up before falling over, you know.
My earliest memories at Roundtop were obviously learning how to ski as a child. The original lodge downstairs, where everything was in the lodge, it was one building. The rental technicians were in pits, and we could service 2 people. There were 2 pits and 2 techs, and they would adjust the cable bindings to your lace-on boots, and it was all just one step or one turn at a time.
What I remember most was the lodge, and we hired an architect, and it was a very lovely lodge with a really big hole right in the center of it, which was a terrible waste of space, but we got convinced that this was going to be not just aesthetically pleasing, but it was going to also function. Well, it did not function very well, and we wasted very little time in closing up the big hole and building a deck around the outside, and making it functional.
When I first met the patrol, it was when Blair Mountain Patrol and the Roundtop Patrol merged together. From that point on, it was a small family, maybe 25, 30 patrollers. We started under a guy named Jim Stake, pushing continuous education. 2000, we were the outstanding national ski patrol for the United States. We had a very, very big gala celebration that Irv wanted to recognize the patrol for that honors. And at that time, he said at the dinner, "I'm going to do something for you folks. We are building you a new patrol building." And that's the building that we have down there now.
As I was flying in from Chicago, and of course I was looking out the window, and as I got close, I looked out the window and I saw Roundtop, and I thought, well, gee, that's kind of neat. Looks like a fun area. There's a dozen or 15 trails, and this could be fun. And then we went about 3 minutes more. We were coming in for a landing, and I looked out the window and I saw 3 Mile Island. And I had no idea of the proximity between 3 Mile Island and Roundtop, and I thought, what in the world am I getting into?
They used to do a thing called a Chinese downhill here. They used to line everybody up on the top of Minuteman. There were no gates. It was just who could get to the bottom of the mountain the fastest, and you had to ring the bell that used to be out there by the parking lot to win. And one year, a guy named Kurt Sauerbier, his nickname was Dirtball, and he decided the way to win was to take a jump at the very end of Minuteman, and he literally flew through the air and hit the bell with his pole and landed in the parking lot. And he won that year.
The culture's changed a lot. Snow time is the whole business. All 3 resorts were like a big family. There's no competitiveness anymore. All the employees at Snow Time, they work well together.
I remember when snowboards first came out, I was on top of Minuteman standing there, and some guy came to me and he says, "What are those crazy guys doing here? Look at them. They don't look like skiers." I looked over and there was a guy in a pair of old Army fatigues and what, and I said, "Sir, that thing that you got there is called a snowboard. It probably costs more than all your equipment. They're going to be the future of the ski industry. Bear with us a little bit."
I think snowboarding is the best thing that ever happened to the ski industry.
A few years ago, Irv challenged the company and said, we need to diversify. We need to not rely completely on the winter business. We need to step out and see what we can do in the other seasons of the year. So he placed a challenge upon us to have 10% of our revenues be summer or non-winter revenues. So we've been heading in that direction with the paintball, the Roundtop Mountain Adventures, the ropes course, the zip lines, wedding business, golf business that we have at both Liberty and Whitetail. But he sees the need to continue to diversify, and you need to have a growing company to survive.
I think it's pretty amazing when you look at the contributions that we have made to the industry. And again, I think Irv and the board were the foundation for this, because they recognized that it was important that our companies give back and contribute to our industry.
We're probably, as I think I said earlier, the only ski area in America that's 50 years old that's still owned by its founder and still operated by its founder and its founder's family. I don't know of any other, and I don't think there is another one. In 50 years, I think this company will have bought a couple of other areas. Instead of being a 3-area Snow Time Inc., it'll be 4, 5, or 6 areas.
I think we would both definitely like to keep it a family business. You see ski areas all over the country, so many that were started by individual people, individual families, and a lot of those are having problems or, going belly up. And I think we have some of the stronger mountains in the country.
I would love to see Roundtop continue to be a place where families can come and share the love of skiing and community. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for kids to get out and learn a new sport. There's a lot of camaraderie with skiing, and I think Roundtop provides a really wonderful opportunity on a low-key basis for people to come out and have a great time as a family.
If you look at the resorts today, we have probably close to 300 full-time year-round people between the 3 resorts, and we employ probably close to 5,000 over the course of a season. They love skiing and they love being here. Then when you think of the amount of people that come to visit our resorts, 200-some thousand at each resort each year in a good ski season, that's quite an influence that our resorts have on an awful lot of people.
It's still awesome to come back to Roundtop. Like I said, there's a lot of the same people that are still here.
Herb Naylor's leadership and charisma added enormously to the success of this company.
The core philosophy, the core beliefs in our business haven't changed. They were certainly inspired and to this day still challenged by Irv.
Well, as a child, it was wonderful to learn how to ski at a young age and experience the winter aspect of Roundtop.
But just think of it, there are not that many businesses in business 50 years. So we're happy to be here, happy to have been part of it.
And I mean, the core group of people that we have working at these mountains, they're unbelievable.
Taught us how to ski, taught us responsibility, taught us the value of spending time with family.
I wouldn't know what to do with my life if it wasn't for Irv and Roundtop for allowing me to be part of their family.
Roundtop is in my DNA.
The runs are still fun and it's home. It's great.
Happy anniversary, Ski Roundtop. We love you.